here's what you see. Now here's what a model and a photographer sees. The modelling industry in the last decade has completely transformed. Aspiring models are now being scouted via Instagram hashtags rather than being found in the streets. Obviously this means that being good in the DMs is heavily rewarded. Now social media, particularly Instagram, can be a career-changing tool, but it's also proven to be one of the most toxic applications on the planet. Now the shift of the industry standards is constantly persuading models to start manipulating their natural beauty. Now this stems from comparing yourself to other people, as well as being constantly flooded with instant gratification through Instagram engagement. Now both models and photographers alike all use some sort of photo manipulation software. Now the photographer's choice is often Adobe Photoshop, and the model's choice for her own selfies and photos is Facetune. In 2020, it's becoming even harder now to recognize a girl strictly from her photos. Often you'll look at an Instagram model's portfolio, and to a professional in the industry, and normal people alike nowadays, it's incredibly obvious the extent that people will go to cover up any imperfections. Now, in my personal experience being a portrait photographer for 5 years now, I've had some incredibly weird requests from models to basically change their appearance. For me personally, I always know my limits in the industry, and I know when someone is obviously asking me to do something that is too far. Social media influencers. I'm sure you've heard the word. Describe someone with a large amount of Instagram followers. Now, most Instagram models have a desire in 2020 to build a large following, and that there are endless insecurities that will come with that when someone doesn't achieve the expected or desired results. This leads me to talk about bot accounts. We've now reached a point where there are businesses promoting the use of purchasing fake followers and fake Instagram engagement. Annually, these businesses are making millions simply by acting on a person's social insecurities and their constant need for validation. Today I'll be talking in depth about my 5 years of experience as a portrait photographer in this industry, in an era where Instagram, Photoshop, and Facetune have completely taken over photography as we know it. Let's begin. Photoshop, Facetune, and model photography. What makes a good portrait? Well, there's the obvious, so you got the good lighting, the clean outfit, the quality makeup, the perfect posing, and a nice location. These are elements of photography that are indisputable, and they for sure make a photo look better than it would without these things. But it's when you start to talk about post-production and editing photography and selfies that things start to become really controversial. Now, the industry standard for the past decade in fashion photography includes some form of skin retouching or photo manipulation. High-level commercial magazines will refuse to accept any images that haven't been professionally retouched using the following methods: frequency separation and dodge and burn. Now, these methods of retouching can be easily found out with a quick Google search, but here's a summary for you. Frequency separation is a method of separating the color of your skin and the texture of your skin. So it involves removing any acne or discoloration in the skin and making it one smooth color. This gives the appearance that the model has perfect and flawless skin, just like you see in the magazines. The second method, which can be used in combination with frequency separation or separately as well, is dodge and burn. Dodge and burn is a method that highlights different features of the models. So you can do things like brightening up the eyes, eyelashes, redefining jawlines, and contouring features that weren't previously there. On the other side of the spectrum, we have models who capture their own photos and selfies. Now, this is where girls often fall victim to the almighty Facetune. Facetune is an app that allows models to completely warp their body shape so they can slim down their waists, make their asses look much bigger than they are. Along with that, it's also become an easier to use Photoshop, so models can remove any imperfections on their face from a photo, which means just like Photoshop, in Facetune you're able to redefine jawlines, remove blemishes, smoothen out skin tones, and even to enhance or add makeup to your face to make it look better than it was when it was previously captured. The main issue I have that relates to this in the photography industry is when makeup artists start using photo manipulation software to promote their brand. Makeup artists are able to enhance colors, make their eyes look brighter, remove any imperfections in the makeup that they may have messed up. So this means that their portfolio content isn't even relevant to the product that they are selling. let's have a look at the statistics, because this will provide some insight into how much of Instagram is actually legitimate. At the time of doing this research, it was June 2020. Facetune launched on the App Store in 2013 with a price of $3.99 USD. In 2015, Facetune made $10 million US, which is over 2.5 million downloads in a 2-year period. In 2020, Facetune is now a $1 billion company. It has also been downloaded over 100 plus million times. Along with that, there's also a second version of Facetune called Facetune 2, which allows you to catfish in your videos. As of January 2020, Instagram itself has over 500 million active daily users. Instagram has a total of over 1 billion active monthly users. And from those statistics, 52 to 56% of those users are female. Now, from those 1 billion monthly active users that are female, this equates to around 540 million people per month that are logging into the app. There are around 150 million private accounts on Instagram, which leaves us with approximately 18 to 20% of those female users that use Facetune number 1, which is quite literally half of the Facetune users. This statistic doesn't even include the active users that are using Facetune number 2 or other photo manipulation softwares such as Adobe Photoshop. Is this a bad thing for the industry moving forward? This is a very debatable discussion, especially when you have popular influencers and makeup artists, including James Charles, the Kardashians, all openly encouraging and promoting the use of photo manipulation software to their young female audience. In my opinion, it creates a never-ending pursuit of digital perfection. Not only are you comparing yourself to everyone else on the Instagram platform, but now you're comparing your digital self to yourself in real life. Women are often looking at social media daily, and it's often the first thing that they do when they wake up in the morning. Wake up, have a quick scroll through their Instagram feed, only to view models that are portraying unrealistic standards of beauty. On top of the fact that people are now manipulating their photos, Instagram is also a platform that promotes a curated highlight reel of the best moments of your life. You never see anyone popular on social media posting about the boring things they do in their lives. And if people did start to post boring things on social media, it'll often lead to people unfollowing your accounts, which leads to further insecurities and often signs of depression. So keep in mind, as you scroll through your Instagram feed, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Don't compare yourself to other people on social media, because 99% of the time, their life isn't as interesting as the curated photos that they post on their social media feed. In fact, a lot of the people that appear digitally happy on social media are some of the most depressed people on the planet. So those perfect slim waists and those big asses you see on Instagram, there's a high chance they're fake. That model's perfect and beautiful skin that you see on Instagram has been smoothed out to make it appear like it's a more even tone. Selfie editing apps have become so easy to use and are becoming so toxic to younger generations. In 2020, the youngest you can be to sign up to an Instagram account is 13 years old. For me personally, I was demanded by my mates to make a Facebook account to connect with them by the time that I turned 13 years old. I also ended up joining Instagram when I was 16 years old. And just for reference, by the time I was 15 years old, Facetune in 2015 had already made an estimated $10 million US. Facetune on your videos. Surely you'll be safe looking at a video, right? Surely they haven't designed a feature that allows people to completely manipulate the way they look in a video. Well, you'd be wrong. Facetune 2 has provided a feature that allows you to tweak the size and the height of your nose and other facial features, including how big your eyes are, how big your mouth and lips are, as well as being able to smoothen out your skin live. Now you've gone from 0 to 100, right? You've gone from being able to use an Instagram filter or a Snapchat filter to now being able to completely change the way you look and adjust your entire facial features in a selfie video. I'm not gonna lie, when I found this out, I was incredibly disappointed by the fact that anything I see on social media now is probably not real. Now this leads us to talking about the next fake element on this platform, and that is fake Instagram followers, fake likes, and social media agencies. Everyone looking at a career on social media wants a large following. The larger and more loyal your following is on social media, the more new opportunities will arise for you to work with brands and other content creators on the platform. But what happens when the number of followers on your account becomes more important than the authenticity of an individual? You've already Facetuned the out of your face in order to make yourself look more attractive than you are in real life. Surely now the followers will start pouring in. Surely. Now this isn't always the case, which is why there are businesses that are making millions of dollars promoting the purchase of fake followers, otherwise known as bot accounts, as well as fake engagement, so fake likes, fake comments, all just to make you seem more popular than you really are. Now, paying websites and mobile applications to enhance your digital image has become way out of hand in 2020. And despite it being against any of the platform's guidelines, it's something that's becoming even more common day by day as the social engagement on Instagram begins to dip. These websites are set up with lists of spam accounts, and you're able to choose your custom number of followers that you want on your account in exchange for cash. Then there are social media agencies that promote the growth of your social media accounts by following a bunch of different accounts just to get in their newsfeed. And then what they do is they unfollow shortly after, whether you follow them or you don't follow them back. Honestly, it's incredible what people are willing to do just to boost their social growth. Now, using these sort of social media agencies and digital applications to enhance your social media following often has drastic consequences when someone finds out, because what it does is it completely removes any authenticity that you previously had on your account. Now, if you have a look through a list of someone's followers on Instagram, it's incredibly obvious once you point it out when someone is actually using these applications to boost their number. Now, if that didn't make sense, let me provide an example for you. So an account with 100 followers can enter their Instagram username into one of these websites or applications and grow from 100 people all the way to 10,000, 100,000 people overnight. But don't be deceived, because these people are not real people hanging out on these accounts. They're a bunch of bot accounts that often have similar spammy usernames. Now here's an example of what some of these fake accounts can look like. Now recently I picked this up on a local photographer's page who lives in Melbourne, who I, prior to this, really admired for his quality of work and his dedication to both his YouTube channel and his photography page as well. Now, as I was browsing through his photography Instagram page, I noticed that his followers jumped from 42.1k all the way up to 60,000 people within 5 minutes. And I thought maybe he just got a big feature or something with an Instagram model, but I decided to dive deeper in. So I went through his follower list, and this is a clear and obvious example of what something like this can look like. Often it's these smaller examples when you only do minor boosts that can be really sneaky on social media. So what's the point in me even telling you all of this? My job is to simply make you aware of how unauthentic the digital world really is. I'm not trying to expose the industry for what it is, right? You probably already know how fake it is. I studied photography after college, and with my strong knowledge in portrait photography and retouching, I've become a bit of an expert at identifying when people are being fake in social media or in photography. It's just the direction that the social media world is heading in, and honestly, I don't see it changing anytime soon. With the ease of use of Facetune allowing you to completely change the shape of your face and body, and the constant need for attention, gratification, and approval from people online, the world can seem like a pretty dark place at times. I just don't want it to get to the point where your digital self is completely indistinguishable from yourself in real life. Being a portrait photographer in the past has invited me into this industry, and I've definitely received some interesting requests from clients about how they want their images to look prior to posting on social media. Remember that there are completely natural ways to take a good photo without actually having to completely change the way you look in Facetune or Photoshop, such as using good lighting, good locations, or good outfits. If you've heard of a popular Netflix series called Black Mirror, I'd highly recommend checking that out, because what it does is it highlights some of the absolute extremes that our digital society could be heading towards in the future. There's always going to be applications and businesses that try and take advantage of people's insecurities, whether it be on social media or whether it be throughout the entire world. Now, prior to making this video, I was a full-time portrait photographer, and I was heavily into this modeling industry, but I found for my own mental health, I need to take a step back and just completely detach from this area of photography, because it wasn't doing me personally any favors for my mental health. Basically, changing the appearance and making someone look perfect on camera wasn't how I wanted my career to be shaping out in the creative industry. I'd much rather focus on creating high quality content and telling stories rather than just editing Instagram models all day long. right? Facetune with the launch in 2015. It's only been 5 years since it's launched, and it's completely changed the way we perceive people on social media. Obviously, Photoshop launched around a decade before Facetune, and that is what eventually shaped the modeling industry that it is today. I'm definitely curious to see what happens to this industry in about 10 years' time, whether people continue to manipulate their looks for social media, or whether it takes a completely different turn. Some of the requests I received from Instagram models in the past, being a portrait photographer, just made me feel generally uneasy. A lot of people don't see an issue with this, but when you're doing it on a daily basis and you've been doing it for 5 years like I have, I think I just needed a change up, and that's sort of why I wanted to talk about this in this video. If you have a different opinion about this sort of thing, leave it in the comments below and I'll have a read through what you have to say. As always, make sure you stay real, stay authentic, and stay tuned for more photography content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.